If anybody has any idea where Sedwin Scott's goals have gone, could you send them to P.O. Box 1388 Peterborough? Thank you. Hello and welcome to part 41 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Sutton and at home against Gateshead in the National League. Almost got it right today. It's very difficult knowing what the A and the H mean. I have to translate it in my head. Since you were last with me, we've... I was going to say we've turned things around a little bit. We really haven't. We've won an FA Cup game and a league game. But before that, it was 5 games without a win. Things are still miserable. They really are. 15th after 14 games is just not good enough. We need to be pushing for promotion this season. And I think that ship has probably already sailed, unless we can have a backdoor push for the playoffs. But it would just be nice at some point in Backing the Boro to have a season where we just look good and play well all season. It will happen at some point. I assure you it will happen at some point. What might not ever happen again is this man scoring a goal. We're paying him nearly £3,000 a week now to play non-league football. I know he didn't have a pre-season, but still, 4 goals from 14 games. That's not what we've come to expect from Sedwin Scott. It needs to change, and it doesn't show any signs of doing so. Maybe today's the day. This is the team we're playing. We've abandoned the counter-attacking idea. We've gone back to control. We've added some team instructions. We're just trying to play more of a Kev style and move the ball around quickly and get crosses into these two who should score goals if they get the opportunity. That's the plan. So we've got Can in goal, a back four of Abrazazi. Anderson's still injured, although might be back for the next episode. Maybe even when's the next game's not a week away, is it? You'll see Joe Anderson again soon. Stone and Laskowski with Moore as a right back. Borrell, Herdball and Hartley around midfield with Scott and Mason up front today. Right, let's get into the game. I want goals. I want a win. I want a Sedwin Scott hat-trick as part of a 6-0 win. Did I just see their team was playing a really weird tactic that I kind of just skipped past? Hold on. Sutton United formation. No, it's not that weird. It looked like they had like 2 at the back and something weird. I feel like there's shenanigans afoot. They've started with something weird and changed it immediately. Right, how bad is this league situation? We're in 15th, 16th place. We're only barely hitting the Kev ratio. Sutton United are actually in the relegation zone. We're playing now, or they're just above the relegation. No, they're in the relegation zone. We're only 8 points above them. If they beat us, we're properly in a relegation battle. Which, to be fair, is what the media expected. It's what the board expected. It's not what we expected, though, after last season. I think we've improved this squad compared to what we had last year. Hurd has got acres of space there and should have done a lot better than he did. That's only gone down as a half chance. I think that's a clear-cut chance all day long. He was completely unmarked in the penalty area. And there he is again. They are just not marking Hurd, but he's not doing anything with it. That's 2 corners in a row. He has been completely left alone, presumably because they understand he's going to be absolutely no threat. That was ridiculous. We need to win some football matches. Sutton are rubbish. We need to beat them. Sorry if you're a Sutton fan, but not that sorry. You're in the relegation zone. Right. Come on, lads. Let's do something in this second half. Let's at least have some proper chances. Let's see if Sedwin Scott can get into their penalty area. We haven't seen him in their penalty area yet. The 3 highlights we've had have been 2 corners that he took and a shot from Mason from outside the area. So we've not seen Sedwin Scott in the opposition penalty area in this entire match. That's what you get for £3,000 a week in non-league. Goodness me. Right, let's just take them both off. I'm done with our strikers. I'm making double striker substitutions every game at the moment because I've just had enough of them. It's probably why you're not doing very well. But he can be a deep line forward. He can be advanced forward. See if these two have got goals in them. We will find a strike partnership that works at some point, but none of the ones that worked last year are working. Last year, Scott in front of Phyllis Kirk worked brilliantly. Scott behind Mason worked brilliantly. Scott behind Omar worked brilliantly. You're spotting the theme. They all had Scott playing well. This year, I've tried all those combinations and none of them work. Tom Elliott, be a hero. Score the penalty. Let's pick up a second win on the bounce. He does. Hopefully we can hold on. Tom Elliott is a proper Nuneaton man. And I really do owe him a few more starts than he gets at the moment. But he's not really a National League player. But he always turns up. And we always do quite well when he's in the team. Perhaps I need to start ignoring his ratings and go on how the team are playing. He's probably a better fit in that midfield than Ball. Is it Ball? Ball, the guy who's an attacking midfielder who'll be playback in midfield just because he's quite good. But Elliott might be a better shout in there. Perhaps it's time to go back to a 4-3-1-2 and stick Ball in behind the front two. But then what do we do with the midfield? We've got Hartley and Boro, who are two of our better players. They'd drop out completely, and I don't know that we have extra midfielders to bring in. At least we won. Wasn't that convincing though, was it? Perhaps we'll be more convincing against Gateshead. There you go. It's been away for a long time. Let's give it another go. Boro, apparently, this was the decider. Boro he's competent as a central midfielder. So if we can still keep this lad in the team, then it's worth experimenting, I think, with having Ball. In fact, let's make him that. If he wants to be a playmaker, he can be a playmaker. Hurd can be our deep line playmaker. Then we've got Boro and Elliott dancing around either side of him. It gets Tom Elliott back in the team. It gets Ball into his preferred position. It offers us something a little bit different going forward. It's worth a try. If it doesn't work, then we'll go straight back to the 4-4-2. Luckily, because we've tried it previously, it was still sat there on our tactics being trained. So it's something the team are fairly familiar with, so it shouldn't be a total shock to the system. And I know it's weird changing the tactic off the back of 2 straight league wins when we've been in terrible form all season, but you saw that game against Sutton. We are not playing like a team off the back of 2 straight league wins. Something's got to change. We've got to get back to scoring goals again. And the 11 players we've got out there, if it doesn't work at all, we can switch to a 4-4-2 fairly easily. Just stick Elliott on one wing, Boro on the other. Ball drops back into midfield. So it's not like we've set ourselves out this way and there's no flexibility from it. But I just want to see Ball behind the front too. If he's as good as... imagine if he's half the player Jordan Nicholson could be. Who, by the way, is now back playing in the Conference North again. Still not interested in... I'd love to bring him back. I would absolutely bring him back. And go back to playing with an attacking midfielder again to accommodate him. But now is not the time. Right, here we go. Elliott, behind Ball. And that's not set up right for Scott. It wasn't Scott, it was Mason. But Cedwyn Scott has scored a goal. An assist by Tom Elliott. There you go. That's going to make me cough. Because I'm so shocked. The excitement that's led to. I might not look excited. I'm trying to contain it to stop coughing. But goodness me, we finally have a goal from Cedwyn Scott again. If this tactical change means he starts scoring goals and playing as well as he did last year again, then forget wingers. This is what we do now. Right. What on earth do I do tactically from here? Do we just stay with the 4-3-1-2? Do we stay controlling like we are at the moment? Because I know with Portsmouth in Non-League to Legend, we've only really found success with the 4-3-1-2 when we attack. We just control the whole time. But when we were at Oxford, that didn't work. When we were at Oxford, we spent a lot of time still with a 4-3-1-2, but on counter-attacking and even defensive sometimes, and sort of adjusting mentality as the game dictated. If this is going to be a tactic that we use with Nuneaton, we're going to need to do some experimentation and find out what's best. And I guess this is the season to experiment. We've already blown our chances of promotion. So rather than just plodding along, doing what we've been doing... Needed to adjust my back cushion. Rather than just plodding along, doing what we've been doing, and having another boring, pointless mid-table, we could have a mid-table that's got some point to it by figuring out a tactic and being able to go into next season and just go for it. I'm convinced once we find the tactic, there'll be a back-to-back promotion at some point in Backing the Boro. It'd be quite nice if it was this season, National League League 2. It won't be, but it could be next season, National League League 2. And I think being in League 1 7 or 8 seasons in, that's not too bad. Being stuck in the conference after 6 seasons, that's pretty bad. Someone asked me in a Q&A on my vlog channel. Kev, do you consider yourself a Football Manager expert or just a fan? I might just refer them to this series. What do you think? 41 episodes in. Am I an expert? Yeah. Right. Substitution o'clock. Have we got players on the bench that allow us to keep this shape? We don't have any central midfielders. Although, to be fair, they're all playing quite well. We probably don't need to change our central midfielders. Mason isn't. Let's bring on Philiskirk. Because this was the most successful strike partnership we had last year, having Scott further forward. So let's try that. And, I mean, we don't really... Should we bring him on for Stone? Just for the sake of making a change. Kev loves a substitution. We're still not... There's still nothing spectacular going on. 2 1-0s isn't really how I like to do an episode. But I guess it's better than losing. This would put us back into the top half of the table as well, if we can pull this off. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Neither of these tactics have really worked. Are we just not a very good team? Do we just have to accept we're going to be mid-table? There's going to be long periods where we don't get decent results and not fiddle too much. So close. Don't know why my fingers are a little bit crossed. So close. But we have picked up a second 1-0 win of the 1-0 win of the episode. What have I become? I'll tell you what I've become. Mid-table and only 4 points outside the playoffs. The negativity ends here. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.